Right, guys, now that is what you call a game of football. Spurs have just beaten Leicester 3-2, and it was an absolutely brilliant game to watch. Um, just Spurs, it's the first time under Antonio Conte, even though they've been doing well with form in the Premier League, it's the first time I've seen them, and they've been properly really good. And they've done it without Heung-min Son, who I know he hasn't been great this season, but you would consider him to be one of their best players. And I think a lot of it is down to the slight tweak in the system of how they played in. They went with a three-man midfield in the central of midfield as opposed to a two-man, which they usually go, and they have the extra striker, which I thought allowed them to control the game a bit more. And I thought Oliver Skipp in midfield was absolutely brilliant. Harry Kane is the first time in a long time, even though his finishing, you could argue, was mostly poor tonight. It was the first time in a long time that I've seen him look really sharp and have a good overall all round game. He played really well. Tottenham in general just created loads of chances. In the first half, Harry Kane had one cleared off the line. He hit the bar with another header. Højbjerg had one cleared off the line. And then out of nowhere, Leicester took the lead through Patson Daka. It was a bit of a mess defensively from Spurs. It just complete scramble, and it ends up with Daka clipping it over Hugo Lloris. For me, Lloris has probably got to do a bit better in covering the amount of covering more of the goal. I think it's a bit harsh to blame Lloris for that, though. I think you've got to look at more like the players like Davinson Sanchez and possibly Ben Davies in defence. I think it could have been any of them. I'm not entirely sure, but it weren't great defensively from Spurs in that moment. But they managed to get an equaliser through Harry Kane. Good through ball. However, it was poor defending from Leicester to leave Kane that amount of space. Soyuncu was rushing back to get to Kane, but he sort of slammed the brakes on a bit too hard and ended up falling him over himself. Kane cut inside on his left and put it past Schmeichel off the post to equalise, which was a good finish, to be fair to Kane. He probably should have had a hat-trick tonight, although he did play very well. It sort of continues that way. Leicester didn't have many chances in the first half, but as soon as the second half started, Leicester were a bit better in the second half. They got the breakthrough for the second time. They made it 2-1 through James Maddison. Harvey Barnes just coming onto the pitch, played it through to him, and it was a lucky finish. It did take a big deflection and went in off the post. But nonetheless, it made it 2-1. And then from that point, it looked like the energy had gone from Tottenham after that goal. They didn't look like scoring at all. But Conte made a good substitution, in my opinion, in bringing on Steven Bergwijn. I thought it was crying out for a bit of pace up front. I thought Lucas Moura, who for me has been Tottenham's best player this season, he didn't have a good game tonight. He wasn't quite involved enough. It was like Lucas Moura had played like Harry Kane this season, and Harry Kane had played like Lucas Moura this season. The roles had reversed a bit, he came on stoppage time. There was a bit of scramble in front of the goal, and he got the first one, and then the second one. It's poor from Leicester, to be honest. You've just conceded. There's 1 minute to go. At least organise your defence and make sure you don't concede another. And they once again, they leave too much space for players to run into at the back. The ball gets played through to Bergwijn, takes it round Kasper Schmeichel, and only has Soyuncu on the line to beat, and manages to squeeze it in the far post and make it 3-2. But I think it's poor from Leicester to, be winning at the 94th minute and not win the game. That's poor for any team. yeah, you just can't do that and expect to uh, win anything or get anywhere in the Premier League. It's like that. That's why they are mid-table this season. I know they've played pretty much, although they had Soyuncu, I think back tonight. I don't know if he's been playing recently, but they've been like decimated sort of defensively. James Justin just came back tonight, who I really like. He's a good player, so it's good to see him back on the pitch. Um, they have been missing Fofana and Johnny Evans, but that's still not good enough, is it? Like Vestergaard's an established Premier League player. He's been in the Premier League probably 3 years at least now with Southampton, and Soyuncu as well. A couple of years ago, we were talking about Soyuncu as one of the best centre backs in the league for a season. It was that first year Leicester were pushing for top four, and we're in the top four, I think, pretty much every game week until the final week. Um, yeah, so he's dropped off massively, I think, Soyuncu. Luke Thomas, though, had a brilliant game, I thought, defensively. I thought he was probably Leicester's best player because he did stop Tottenham from scoring on a couple of occasions and did offer a bit going forward as well. I thought Lookman also, he wasn't in it as much as he usually was in terms of being in the game, but he did cause Spurs the occasional problem in defence. But I thought it was a good performance from Spurs, and I thought they were definitely the better side out of the two teams. Yeah, I also thought probably the poorest player in the game was Yuri Tielemans in midfield for Leicester. I thought he gave the ball away far too easily. I think, well, it was the final goal that was the winner for Tottenham, Bergwijn's second goal. He gave the ball away, and I think he might have given the ball away in Tottenham's first goal as well. But he just didn't have a good game, and he didn't really offer much to Leicester in attack. I haven't seen him play as well this season as he did last season, definitely. Um, there's also other players that Leicester were missing tonight. I think Ndidi they're missing. You could argue Vardy still offers more than Daka, even at his age, in the striker position as well. So it is a bit unfair to judge Leicester based on this season. It's a bit like Liverpool last season with, no defenders. Yeah, it was a brilliant match to watch. And Conte's like keeping this unbeaten run going. I mean, the 90th minute there, it looked like it was over, but you definitely wouldn't have said Tottenham were winning that game at the 90th minute. Yeah, brilliant game to watch. Really enjoyed it. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.